So in the last one, I got a little bit long-winded talking about the work I was doing with the outliers. So now let's actually do it. On the screen now, we've got the distribution that we had created for week one. And one thing we could look at visually is where does this curve kind of flatten out? And the problem is we see these blips over here and, maybe here, maybe there. I don't know. We can't just use the distribution for it because of how it's created. And so I'm going to show you what I do, and it's in the other video. So I'm going to go to the descriptives tab because we don't want to use the way we had manipulated the distribution. So descriptives tab, go to a new one, hit paste. So this is, we've seen this before, right? I've seen this movie before. And what we want to do is sort the total paid high to low. How do we do that? Very simply, you right click on the header row. And so see, it highlights it. It highlights it all the way to infinity. And then we go up to the top and you see it goes File, Home, Insert, Page Layout, Formulas, Data. Data is what we want to hit. Click on it, left click. And then over here there's a Sort and Filter section. And so what we want to do is click Filter. What that does is it turns the header row into the basis for sorting, and it'll sort everything that is connected. That is why we put some space at the bottom between the data and here. So if we didn't have this space, it would sort everything else is connected to it. So by having a separation, it'll only sort all the way down to there. So I'm gonna go back to the top, and we're gonna sort by total paid. You see we're gonna click on this little triangle down, and it gives us a choice. We can go smallest to largest, largest to smallest, by color, or other filters. We're gonna go largest to smallest. I want the highest paid claims on top. And there it did it. And so it sorted everything. If you just sorted the column, it would only sort the column. It may even give you a warning and say, "You sure you want to do this, fool?" And you'd be like, "No, I didn't want to do that." So we've got the highest to the lowest now. Okay. Now here's where we can have fun and check things out. And this is how I was trying to, working on my hypothesis that, 1, 2, 3, and what I'm doing is just numbering high to low. And I'm not going to do it the whole way. We created the unique identifiers before. Change that to that and center it. But we want to do this for the outliers because it just helps track them. It's just like an additional thing. So when I did the, let's say we want to go by a percent of count. What we do is we go equal sign, and then we click on 1, because that's the first one, divided by the total number, which we know is 387. Hit return, turn that into a percentage, and center it, make it small. So each claim is 0.26%. So if I drag this down, let's go to 23 for no other reason, just for example. If I want to take the top 1%, I'd have the top 4 claims. If I want to take the top 5%, I'd have to choose where I want to go. I'd probably go right out. We take the top 19. But my work before indicated that that's not a valid way to do this. So we're going to go back to my old way. My old way is to create a bar chart and then look for natural breaks. Visually, I could do it, but for you, let's do it. I can do the math in my head quick, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to highlight, click and drag, left click and drag, and I'm dragging and I'm dragging and I'm dragging. So I've got all the data. All the total paid column is highlighted. I did it manually. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is go into Insert. So File, Home, Insert, and then we've got the charts. And we're going to do bar chart, just like we did with our distribution. And there it is. And I'm just going to kind of squeak over here because I want to make it as big as possible so I can get as much, I can see my new details. So here's the most expensive claim, and then it goes down to this one and this one. So these are definitely outliers, but we have to decide where we want to end. From this perspective, it looks like we'd want to end right here. It looks like it gets kind of a natural curve after that. So let's see what this, if I put the cursor over it and don't move, it says it's 83. So let's eliminate the top ones all the way to 83 and see what happens. So I go over here and I click and I drag. So it's the top 4. I hit Control X to cut. You see, it's still there. I'm not deleting it, I'm cutting it. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. And I'm going to find a nice place to make sure I go over to the column A. I'll start it at 410. And I'll hit Control V to paste. And so it moved those claims down here. At the same time, what it is, it took them out of the chart. So now we have a different view because it readjusts the max. See? So now we have more detail, more acuity here. And you can see there are some other big jumps that could possibly be considered outliers. See, here's nice, gentle. You know, maybe there's a little bit jump right there. Maybe there's a little bit jump right there. That's a pretty definitive one right there. So what is that? I'm going to put the cursor over it. It is data point value $30,030. $30,037, excuse me. I'm going to highlight the rows until I get down to this. So you see right here, here's the total paid. I'll scroll up so you can see total paid. I highlighted the rows that contain everything from where we ended before down to here. Geez, that doesn't seem like a big jump though. I'm going to go down one more, I think. So we go to 29, then it jumps down to 27, 25, 25, 24. Now there is no exact science to what I'm doing right now. This is a visual. And what I'm just trying to do is get rid of the highly influential, expensive claims, because when I start multiplying things and having the percent, the severity as a percent total paid, those big claims will inflate the claim type. So now let's look at it. You know, the average was down here. The average is going to now be different because I eliminated the outliers. So it's going to come down. It's going to come closer to the median. And the median is going to be affected much because we only removed 21 claims so far. Do I want to remove more? You know, there's a break right there. After that, so maybe there's a break right there. So that would be 0.30. So I could go further. I like to be conservative. So I actually think I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to continue this. You guys don't have to do exactly as I'm doing. Be as comfortable as you want. If you have a little more meat on the bone, you know, a little bit more in claims, sure, you can estimate higher amounts. But I like my curves, my forecasting to be a little bit smoother. And you're going to maximize smoothness. That sounds weird. By eliminating high things. Okay, so I'm pretty. Let's look up at it quickly. It took 7 minutes. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's a nice curve right there. You can ride a bike down that, right? And I numbered them out. Do I have 30? I took 30 outliers, so I like even numbers too. Just easier to remember, right? But what's interesting is the descriptives table that we had created last week automatically updated. That's the beautiful thing about Excel is when you move things around or sort things, it'll update. So this is our new total. It's not that high. I'm going to make some space, and I want to bring over, let's see, Y, just to do that. I should give my outliers a header row. They deserve it, right? Boom. Okay. Let's bring over the other descriptives and just see how much it's changed. Might have to give myself a little bit more space. Insert. It's easier to get rid of. So I'm going to do something I call portaling. I'm going to leave myself, let's leave ourselves 4 spots because I'm going to use the 2 for difference and percent difference. And I type in an equal sign. This is where we could type in, you know, COUNTIF and SUM or click on cells for numbers. What we're going to do is just click on a cell and bring it over. Here's the original descriptives tab. I went over here. I'm going to click in the upper left-hand corner, hit return, and see it brought it over. Isn't that cool? And then when I click and drag, it brings over those 2. I went one too far. The thing is, though, this is a mirror image of what's on the other page, and so it doesn't fully represent what we think it does. So these aren't really numbers that we can bring forward from this point. They're just in mirror image. I could have copy and pasted as well with a picture. That probably would have been easier, But at least when it's like this, I can do some very minimal. I can do some very minimal analysis. I hope you guys can't hear my family talking. Percentage. My dog's at the door. It's mayhem in this house right now, everybody. But that is the life I chose, and I love it. All right, here. This is my cousin, and she drove me here. If anybody is a Parks or Rec fan, you know what I'm talking about. That's David. And, no, he's not David. That's from Schitt's Creek. Oh, getting my awesome shows mixed up. All right, so I cleaned it all up. Good practice for you guys, you know, if you're to do that. Now, what do we do about this? I'd have to go correct it in the other one. Can I do wrap text? Ah, that did it. All right. So let's find out what the change was, because it used to be 2.7 million. Now it's only 700,000. Not a lot, right? So I'm going to do a difference, and then I'm going to do a percent difference. And different. You'll realize the importance of this later on. This is you have to take a little bit of faith in me. The difference is equal to what the old one was minus what the new one is. So that's how much. This is the outlier. So this is the outlier subtotals, removed. And this is the percent difference. The percent difference is just basically the difference divided by the original. And it's a percent though. And center it. There we go. As they say, wunderbar. So we're at, we removed 71%. Yikes, that's a lot. But what that guarantees is that our forecasted estimates are going to be conservative. So the next thing we want to do is go down here and kind of look at our outliers. See what's here. So like the most expensive claim, and we can look at the descriptive. Right away, we can look at the policy class code. I think in the first video, 6504 was the policy class code I looked up. There's nothing different. So it's all kind of those food workers. So you should look that up. And actually, I did. I've got over here, and I didn't take out as many when I first looked at it. Looks like I took out 17, and now I'm at 30. I'll do it both ways. So I've got the information right here. I looked it up on the WCRB website. 6504 food sundries. Maybe it's sundries. Manufacturing, not otherwise classified. Their rate is $2.72. We'll want to look up all of them and see which is the most expensive, because then that would be most risky, right? All right. I tried to do it by quartile up here. That's another way in which you can calculate outliers. It did not work. It says this is what they want us to set the most expensive claim to, 8,500. At that point, we'd be taking out 55. That's a little bit much. I just took out 30, and originally I just took out like 19. Because there's natural breaks there. Remember, that was the one actually I found initially, remember? And I'm like, no, I think we can do better than that. So that's what I did. Let's go back to the one I was working with. So you call this one outliers. And I want you to, and I'm not going to do them all for you, but go ahead and read some of the descriptions here. Read all the descriptions. Because some people would think that the more expensive claims are the more severe outcomes. So therefore, there must be a completely freak, unique, scary incident. First one, most expensive claim. Injured worker slipped on a wet spot on the floor, fell on his back. Dude, that happens all the time. It's just this time it cost the company $319,000. Let's look at the second one, most expensive. This one is an amputation. This is a little, obviously they bypassed a guard, or maybe the guard wasn't there. That was $222,000. That's not good. We should be doing things, attempting to keep people from putting their hands on their augers should be a priority no matter what. Okay. Lifting something, repetitive use of wrist while using a power washer. This is another amputation, pinky finger, caught in. shoulder strain, shoulder strain, bending down, so it's a lifting, fell off a ladder, trying to open a door, so it's like is it a push-pull? Yep. Getting off forklift, slipped on the floor, loose potatoes, those down potatoes. Employee trying to get a pallet down, board broke, say that 5 times fast, and then they fell onto their shoulder. So keep reading these and try to make note of what you're seeing here. Are these unique? Are these unique occurrences? Are these things that, we'd have to do something very special to prevent? Because that's what some people think. That trying to evaluate and control the things that cause minor, they think that there's no relationship between the two. And just reading these, another one of those potatoes. Must be a potato place. Anyway, so that's what I want you to do for this first step. Sorry I went so long, but I do want you to just kind of, you don't have to pick the same number I did. You really don't. Whatever you're comfortable with. I went with 30. Some of you will probably go with 30. That's fine. I mean, and you'll see how easy it is when we get to the next step, that it doesn't matter exactly what you take. It's just that you take out enough so that the trending and the forecasting lines are smooth. I'm saying that wrong. It's so your R squared value is above 0.5. I had talked about that before. I gotta shut up. I gotta go eat dinner. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.